Well, hello, all of my students. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Jay, and welcome to another English lesson here on the channel where I have the opportunity to help you with your English comprehension, vocabulary, and your English fluency. On today's lesson, I have an intermediate level story that I am going to read and explain to you. Now, this won't be like my read and repeat lessons, but I will read through at a little bit fast paced to try to challenge some of my beginners. And of course, I will explain key vocabulary words and phrases. Now, as always, you can read along with me. The story that I'm going to read today is also available down in the description of this lesson. And be sure to hang around until the end like most of you do, because I will have some quiz questions for you on today to test your comprehension and your understanding. So I hope you're ready to dive into today's lesson. Let's get ready for a little bit of learning and laughter. Let's dive into today's story. Edgar has a very loud and strange cell phone notification alert. Every time it goes off, it surprises everyone. Okay, so we have a story today about Edgar and his strange cell phone notification alerts. Okay, I could actually talk about his ringtones as well. There are some people, they have funny or strange sounding alerts or ringtones. Some people have, I've heard Mario Brothers. Doo 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 doo. And then some people have different songs or movie themes. But Edgar, I want you to notice his goes off and it surprises everyone. I want to talk about this. Let's get into it. One day, Edgar was watching a movie at the theater. Suddenly, his phone made a loud noise. The people around him were angry. The manager asked Edgar to leave. So when I went to see the new Bad Boys movie with my wife, I noticed that they usually have at the beginning of the movie, they'll have a little trailer that will just say, please silence your mobile phone devices. But this time they had a clip of Wolverine and Deadpool from the Marvel Cinema storylines, and they were actually cursing people out. I mean, they were dropping F words. They were saying, hey, cut your phone off. It was funny, but some may find it a little inappropriate. But have you ever been somewhere and someone's phone, it made noise at a very inconvenient time? I believe it was last month when I went and got my teeth cleaned. There's a sign in the dentist's office that said, we are not responsible for any harm done because you did not turn off your cell phone. Could you imagine being at the dentist's office and your phone goes off and it startles or surprises the person that is cleaning your teeth and they cut into your gums? Oh! So another word for surprise is to startle or frighten. Okay, startle. You startled me. You scared me or you surprised me. Another day, Edgar was reading at the library. His phone rang again, making a weird sound. Everyone in the library looked at him. So you have Edgar at the theater, phone going off. Then he's at the library, phone going off. How would you describe Edgar? Okay, I would describe him as being maybe a prankster, someone who does something at the other people's expense. Maybe he got a laugh out of it. Maybe it was humorous to him. But I would definitely call Edgar inconsiderate. Not thinking of others. That's quite inconsiderate. The librarian told Edgar to leave. The worst time was at a wedding ceremony. Oh my goodness. Edgar's phone rang loudly during the vows. So when I was putting this story together, I have thought about different times I have been to events and someone didn't silence their phone. And when you're trying to concentrate, whether it's study or watch a movie, or you're trying to be supportive of someone, such as at a wedding, when that phone goes off, boy, it can be a great distraction. Now, some people do it and they forget. Okay, they forget that they did not put their phone on silent. I'm not talking about those type people. There are some people, they get a kick out of pranking others. Okay, and it's quite inconsiderate. And to some people, that's a pet peeve. I want to talk about that. A pet peeve. What is something that really irritates you? A pet peeve. I mean, it's something that may be normal. It's something that someone may do often, but you really don't like it. A pet peeve for mine, I don't mind when people's phones go off because I know some people, they just forget. But cracking knuckles, oh, that's a pet peeve. When I'm driving and I let someone over and they don't throw that hand up to say thank you, that's a pet peeve. I don't get road rage, but it's quite funny. Speaking of road rage, there was a guy in front of me last night. He was waiting his turn. There was a car coming and he couldn't turn left. And there was a car in front of him that needed to turn the way that he was leaving. And the guy got upset and he was being impatient. And he just flicked him a bird. He was like... So evidently that was irritating or could have been a pet peeve. The bride and groom were very upset, as they should be. Edgar had to leave the wedding. Come on, Edgar. Edgar thought it was funny when his phone rang at bad times. Yeah, some people get a kick out of doing certain things. That's being inconsiderate of others. Let's see what happens. But one day, it happened to him on the golf course. His friend's phone rang loudly during his swing. Edgar missed a crucial shot and lost a $200 bet. Though angry, Edgar thought about it and learned not to be inconsiderate of others from then forward. Good for Edgar. But his lesson cost him some money. Now, notice this word. Edgar missed a crucial. Okay, I don't want to assume that everyone knows what crucial means. Something that is crucial is very important. It's significant. It's something that is very essential. So in Edgar's case, it was very important for him to make the shot while he was on the golf course so he could win $200. But because he missed the shot, Edgar lost $200. Wow. And though he was upset, notice he thought about it. Okay. Have I been like this to other people? Have I done this to other people? And so he said, you know what? That's a good lesson learned for me. I'm not going to be as, or he's not going to be as inconsiderate because he sees that it's an inconvenience. Okay. An inconvenience. It's something that is not comfortable, is something that is not useful. So he said, I better, as we would say, tone it down. Let me tone it down some, or let me change my habits, or let me stop doing that. Okay. So a quick story that I put together about Edgar and him being humorous, but it being inconsiderate to other people. So let's read through this same story quicker at a faster pace. And let's see if you can read along with me as well as continue to understand. Edgar has a very loud and strange cell phone notification alert. Every time it goes off, it surprises everyone around him. One day, Edgar was watching a movie at the theater. Suddenly, his phone made a loud noise. The people around him were angry. The manager asked Edgar to leave. Another day, Edgar was reading at the library. His phone rang again, making a weird sound. Everyone in the library looked at him. The librarian told Edgar to leave. The worst time was at a wedding ceremony. Edgar's phone rang loudly during the vows. The bride and groom were very upset. Edgar had to leave the wedding. Edgar thought it was funny when his phone rang at bad times. But one day, it happened to him on the golf course. His friend's phone rang loudly during his swing. Edgar missed a crucial shot and lost a $200 bet. Though angry, Edgar thought about it and learned not to be inconsiderate of others from then forward. All right. So now that we have completed that story, let us review some quiz questions and see if you can get these correctly. Number 1, and answer these down in the comments section. Why did Edgar get kicked out of the movie theater? Number 2, what is a personal pet peeve? Okay, what's a pet peeve? And let's add, what is your pet peeve? You know, I was talking about popping knuckles. It's one thing to see people and hear people pop like their fingers, and then they pop their knuckles. My wife pops her ankles. Oh my goodness, she's been doing it since we got married. She'll just come home and just crack, crack, crack. And I'm like, girl, that is I don't know anyone who cracks their ankles besides my wife. Okay. Some people, my son, my eldest son, he cracks his neck. I can't bring myself to do it. He cracks his neck and then he says, that feels good. Some people crack their back, but that sound is so annoying. What a pet peeve. Now for my dad, my mind is whirling. My dad could not stand when we would be at the table smacking. We would get in trouble. I would be eating my food and he would just quit smacking. You look like an animal. You look like a cow. Quit smacking. And sad to say, I knew what got under his skin when I was a teenager. So sometimes I would do it just to get on his nerves. But as I grew, I realized that was very inconsiderate. Oh, number 3, what lesson did Edgar learn from his experience on the golf course? Okay, so I want you to try to answer these 3 questions, especially number 2. What is a pet peeve and what is one of your pet peeves? I've got those 2 from my wife. And let me see, I'm thinking, when I hear women pop their gum, when they make that popping noise, that's so irritating. So yeah, I could go on. That's funny to me. I can be a little, I don't know, what do you call that? That's not petty, but I just have pet peeves like everybody else. So nevertheless, before I ramble on, I hope you have enjoyed today's lesson about Edgar and being inconsiderate of others. Hey, I don't know if you know, this may be your first time, but I do have a podcast called Improved English Podcast with Jay, and I would love for you to check that out. The link is down in the description, or if you're watching me on your television, you can scan that QR code there. And while you are down in the description of today's lesson, be sure to check out Parlay with Jay. There's a link down there, or you can go to my website, and I do weekly listening conversational practice lessons. And so I pick a topic and I ask you guys what kind of topic you would like. And actually someone said that I took a poll and they said they wanted me to do one on current news. So I did one on the Paris Olympics and a particular Olympic event that intrigues me. So I just did that. You can get that link on my website or down in the description. It says Parlay with Jay. So that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have enjoyed today's lesson, and I hope I didn't ramble on too much. And as I always say, enjoy the rest of the day wherever you may be watching from, and be sure to join me next time. And if this lesson has helped you, inspired you, or encouraged you concerning your English, be sure to share it with someone else. And so until next time, I hope you join me on my next English lesson. I'll see you then.